How are we doing today? Oh, our music, our vibes. We need to check our vibes. There we go. Now we're vibing. There we go. It feels like it went live a little bit early. So if you got a little bit of my weird face, just like looking around, I was looking at all my screens. You get a little behind the scenes. Hello, hi there. My name is Andrew Hockrattle. I am your host and guide, and let's see, B to the E to the double L E. I can't spell. That's what I will be for you. For the next week, we're going into the Halloween weekend, so I figured let's have some fun. Let's get a little bit spooky today, and let's work on those costumes. We will be working in Adobe Illustrator for our daily creative challenge. If you've never joined us before, welcome. It is the time to join. I know that we're going into the weekend, but it is Friday, and it's the perfect day to learn something. So there's a bunch of ways you can get involved with these, but before we jump in, let me introduce myself. My name's Andrew Hockrattle. You can follow me at hawk.co. It's just pronounced Hawk, H-O-C-H, and I don't have any more arms to point at things. So you can also get involved in a couple other ways. The first is to go right here at behance.net/challenge/illustrator. It's the place to be. How am I perfectly cropped below the taskbar there? Wow, good job, accidental Andrew. So you can get involved right here at behance.net/challenge/illustrator. This is where you can get all the source files. Today you will need the source files. We'll be creating a costume. And with that costume, we have some floating ghosts that you can decorate and figure out whatever you want your ghost to be wearing. Next up, the community fund. Today is the last day for you to apply for the Adobe Residency Creative Community Fund. You can do that right here. You can do a project grant if you want to propose a project, or you can just apply for a commission. So go ahead and head on over and apply. It is the last day. Oh no, it's 2 days. 2 days, sorry. November 1st. It's the last day that I'll see you. The next time I see you, it will be expired. So make sure that you apply for that and get involved. It's a great opportunity. And then one more thing that I want to tell you about is today on office hours, we are having our Halloween Spooktacular. That's right. We are talking all about how to deal with nightmare clients. So join us. That's happening today at 2:30 p.m. right here on behance.net/live, right here. Just stay tuned. Put it on your calendars. Tune back in. We're talking all about nightmare clients. It's going to be so much fun. And Wade, where does Andrew do critiques of our designs? I do it right here on Behance. Just follow Huck.co on Behance, or over on the side in the info tab, I believe you can follow me. And I'll actually be going live immediately following this stream. Like literally right after this, 2 minutes after we wrap up this stream, I'll be going live to do feedback on your challenges, which brings us to our next point. How do I see your challenges? That's right, go to bit.ly/AI Discord. I had way too much coffee this morning, y'all, so it's going to be a lit stream. So this is where you can go, bit.ly/AI Discord. That's where everyone is putting their work, and that's where I will be reviewing from right after this stream on my personal stream. Let's take a look over there and see. There's an awesome werewolf mask happening in here, and some great blending modes that are happening with the faces. I love that we're doing a little bit of alphabet action here, and love this. Love what we're doing with the shading here. So great job with those. I'm going to be going live right after this and giving you all of the feedback that you will ever need on all of those pieces. So today we are hopping in and we will be making a custom costume of a ghost using patterns and graphic styles. So let's go ahead and hop in. This is by far my favorite transition, I think, if we can pull it off. So everybody hold on. We're going to try to make the transition and see if we can conjure the guide and the host for our lesson today. Let's do it. Pajama, pajama, kazama, pajama, kazama, pajama, pajama. All right, let's see if we can conjure. Oh no, something's not working. Y'all, he's not showing up. Oh, ooh. Whoa, no, our our stream has been haunted. That's right. We're hanging out here today, and we're going to do a ghostly haunted stream. Let me get my headphones in here. There we go. So this ghostly haunted stream, we are going to, of course, be decorating some ghosts in Adobe Illustrator. So let's go ahead and hop over into Adobe Illustrator and get working on our next project. All right, I'm just going to be floating over here in the background. There we go. So we are going to be in Illustrator today, and we will be creating a custom costume using graphic styles and pattern tools. And yes, it is super spooky, and this is not fitting, but who cares? So we're going to be creating a custom costume using graphic styles and pattern tools. Let's go ahead and look here. Halloween is when kids dress up in costumes and beg for candy. Anyone know what that's from? Let me know if you know what that quote is from. Let's go ahead and hop right in. Our ghosts are looking spectacularly boring right now. And so we're going to play around with seeing what we can do with these ghosts to kind of, I don't know, spruce them up a little bit. So let's come in here and let's make some patterns. Now what we could do is we could come in here and just change the color, right? We come in here and be like, I don't know, I want it to be brown. That's no fun. We need an actual fun pattern here. And so since we are, of course, doing the very lazy costume of just a sheet ghost, this is actually a towel, let's go ahead and do a little sheet pattern. So what we can do, if we think about a sheet, we're going to build it out using simple shapes. And a sheet right here is literally just going to be an oval. I'm going to make it blue. And from there, I'm going to grab just this simple shape, use the pen tool, and with the pen tool, I'm going to hold Alt or Option with that selected, and that is going to make it so that I can edit this anchor point. Now it's going to turn this anchor point, if you can see there, into a perfect corner. So we're going to do that perfect corner right there. We actually made two of them by accident. And there we go. We have this awesome little piece right there. I'm going to go ahead and rotate this 45 degrees and then make another copy of it and rotate it again another 45. Cool, that's looking good. And you know what? Let's do another one down here that lines up that just looks like that. So give it a little bit of space, and that looks good to me. So this is going to be our pattern for what we do on the sheets. Very simple, very easy. And yes, it is a towel. Beware the ghosts. All right, so we can select this, and what we want to do is use this pattern and then repeat it, right, as if it was on this sheet. So check this out. Here's what we can do. With this selected, we can go up to Object, and we can go to Pattern and Make. There we go. So we're going to hit OK, and this is telling us any changes that are made in the pattern editing mode will then apply to the pattern. Swatch. So we'll hit OK. It's going to create a swatch for us. And here we can see what our pattern is going to look like. So it's actually going to isolate absolutely everything so that we can just see what our pattern is going to look like. And it's looking pretty good. It's touching right here, which is a problem. So what I can do is change the height right here. And you can see that as I change that height, it's spacing out that pattern for me. Now I can also, if I want to, change it to brick by row. And what that's going to do is it's going to do something called tessellating. And tessellating is where it kind of goes back and forth. So we can do that in a whole bunch of different ways. If we're going to do that, maybe we want to change the width as well and kind of space it out a little bit so that it has this kind of polka dot. Now I actually want them to kind of touch. So I'm going to bring it in pretty close. There we go, right there. That looks good to me. And then here, the brick offset, I can either do it by a half, we can do it by a third, so that it's a little bit closer. We can do it by 3/4. So you can augment exactly what you want it to be. Here, we probably want to do a half just so it is even completely. So with that, we can name the pattern. So we're going to name this Sheets. And right there, we can scale the tile to the art. We can move the tile with the art, which is what we want to do. And then we also can do all kinds of different things with the amount of copies. So here we can go 7 by 5, and that is going to do 7 rows. Here we can go 3 by 1. You can really play around with what you want it to be. So here, I just want it very easily to be a good 5 by 5 grid. Now we can show the tile edge, that's what we want, and show the swatch bounds. I don't really need that. And next, to apply this, what we're going to do is come up here to done. Now this is a very different process than a lot of things that you'll see in Illustrator, is that instead of clicking out of a group, you have to come up here and hit done. So we're going to hit done. And now you can see in our swatches panel, we have a little swatch right here, and this is the swatch that we just made. That is the pattern that we've just made right there. So now we can select our shape, our little ghost here, and we can click and it will apply that pattern that we've created right there. So we've created this pattern. The problem is it's a little too big, and we actually need to make a copy of the ghost if we want him to be white, which is we want him white in the background. Oh boy, I'm trying to do my hotkeys without being able to see my keyboard. So we're going to send this back. There we go. So now I'm going to apply that pattern, and we have a nice pattern on here, but usually with a sheet, it's a little bit smaller. So what I can do is with this selected, I can come in here and go to Object. I can go to Pattern, and then Edit Pattern. This is going to take me back into this window, and from here I can just select this pattern, which is right there, and I can shrink it down. And what that's going to do is it's going to shrink it so that it creates this pattern a little bit differently. But the problem is doing it in the actual edit settings, it's going to mess it up because you're just scaling one of them to put it around the, you're actually changing the pattern. Now, what we want to do is, we are actually going to cancel that, is instead of going into the edits, we can actually grab it right out of the swatches. So grabbing it from the swatches and clicking and dragging, we're going to hold Alt or Option. And that's going to pull it out here, and here is our pattern. So this is our stacked up pattern exactly how we want it. And instead of being this large, you can see that it's carrying over this large. We actually want it to be really small and detailed. Now with this, if we drag it onto the swatch, it's going to keep all of the settings and spacing that we had on the swatch. It's just going to resize what the actual object is. So check this out. We are going to grab it, and we're going to click and drag holding Alt or Option, and you'll see that it will actually highlight in black. See how it's highlighting that swatch? We're just going to drop it on that swatch, and it will update everywhere that that pattern is used across the board, the sizing that we want that to be. Now, if we want to, I can also come in here, and let's say that we want this to be a pattern. We can come in here and just change it so that we have something like this with these oranges. There we go. And again, we're just going to grab all of these elements, drag it over, and drop it onto this swatch, the existing swatch, and it will update that with all of our settings. So now we have this awesome sheet from the ghost. Why not? Let's take the opacity down a little bit, 50%. And now we've got this awesome swatch on the ghost. Love that. Now, if we want to keep adding things to this, we can. And not only can we save the swatch, we can save everything that we're adding, including the swatch. So check this out. If I want to have our ghost maybe glowing, we can go to Effect, we can go to Stylize, and do Outer Glow. And the outer glow here is going to give us a nice glow, so it feels like it's a glowing, spooky ghost. We'll hit OK. And then maybe underneath that, I actually did it in the wrong order, but we'll fix it. Underneath that, we want Stylize and maybe a little bit of an inner glow to get some black along the edge. So we're going to hit OK there, and I did it in the wrong order, so we have to come over to our appearance and just drag this outer glow under the inner glow. We always want the outer glow on the bottom so that it goes to the inside of our ghost. So now we have a semi-lazy ghost. He's hanging out, and lazy costume, cool application. And what we can do is we can select this ghost, and to save him, we can come over here to our graphic styles, also in Window and Graphic Styles. And we are just going to click on this plus button. This plus button is going to give us a new graphic style, which will be a great addition to our composition here. So we're going to click on that, and you can see this graphic style that's popped up right here. What that's doing is it's taking all the effects that are on there, the pattern, the outer glow, and the inner glow, and saving them for us. So if we want to make a duplicate of the costume, instead of having to create a complete duplicate, I can simply, again, paste one on top here. Let's look at my hotkey. There we go. And I've pasted one on top, and instead of having to go through the process of like doing all those effects again, I can simply come over here and click on this graphic style. And see, it's going to apply all of the same things to that ghost using the graphic style. Kind of cool, right? So let's go ahead and do one more kind of style and play around with what it can look like, maybe with some additional options on it. So coming down here, we're going to play around with maybe like a burlap kind of texture. So with that, let's go ahead and make just some little brown kind of circles. So we'll do brown here, and maybe we have it be kind of a tight burlap right there. And then over that way, maybe these go a little bit darker. Sure, why not? And let's make it so that they kind of weave back and forth. Oh, I hit a hotkey that I did not mean to hit. Ooh, where is it? There we go. So let's go ahead and make it so that these weave just a little bit right there. And then simply we can grab all of these and go to Object, Pattern, Make. Now this is going to get a little bit more complicated, so it's going to show us our pattern, and it looks like there's some weird width stuff happening. Now we can fix that by bringing these widths down, and it's going to bring it closer and closer. So we want it about there, and the vertical, the same thing, we want it about there. So now it looks like it's kind of overlapping, doing this kind of cool overlapness. And here we can change maybe hex by column. That's going to create a hexagon and then put it over there. How do you make it weave? I just did every other one. I moved forward and backward. I'll show you when we get back in how you can do that. So we can actually do it so that it's maybe going back and forth. That looks kind of interesting, but let's just keep it on a solid grid. We're going to go ahead and size tile to our, no, that made it too big. No. Oh, I messed it up. That's basically returning it to the default. All right, there we go. Close enough. So we're going to hit done. And you can see up in our swatches panel right here, we have our swatches. So to make it weave, I literally just took this and right click transform or arrange and then send to back. And so that way it's going, every other one is kind of at the front and on the back. So now again, I'm just going to grab this and I'm going to click over here on our little swatch that we've made that's a pattern. And now we have this awesome pattern of a ghost. So to change this, it looks like it is 50% opacity. We actually want this to be at 100. It looks kind of good, but it's still too big. Again, what we can do is simply grab our original shape. We can shrink that on down, and then I'm going to click and drag holding Alt or Option right there. And it's going to, boom, scale it for us right there. It looks like some of our scaling got a little bit wonky, but we can fix that. Object, pattern, edit pattern, and it got a little bit wonky. Let's go ahead and bring these in. So we have a nice grid done, and it will update automatically there. Now, what's happening is we still have the scaling pattern super cool. Yes, I agree. We can change this background. So right now we're just floating. So maybe we want the background to be this dark brown as well. And there we go. We just layer it up, and now we've got a nice floating ghost. Being all super ghosty in a kind of burlap type of ghost. So let's see, we have 6 or 7 minutes more. Let's do one more. And this one is going to be a combination of different things. We are going to, make a copy here. Ooh, hotkey, there we go. Just gonna move it behind those eyes. Come on. There we go. And from here, I'm going to kind of play around and maybe create a fun, like 80s version of something. So we'll have some of these. Maybe we'll have like a square, maybe. So we'll do, let's do like a rectangle, right? So these are going to be kind of fun, zany shapes. Maybe we'll do one that's just a kind of a lightning bolt kind of shape. And then maybe one more that is just a fun triangle. So now with all of these, we can create different colors. All right, yellow, and one more, let's do red. So you'll see we can grab these and watch what happens now. We're going to go to Object, Pattern, and Make. And this is where we can get really crazy and we can create this zany kind of insane grid. And this is where we can play around with, if we want it to be a hex, it's going to start to overlap some of those pieces. If we want to do a hex by row, it's going to move them left to right and just take the hexagon. And zany, haven't heard that in ages. Yes, one of my favorite words. We also can do the bricks by row and offset them. That was kind of cool. And bricks by column is going to offset vertically. This actually looks the best to me. Now we're going to make it a little bit more wonky. Let's do 1 by 3. Let's do a non-proportionate. 3 by 7 looks kind of cool. And we are going to save this as 80s. All right. And yes, the talking ghost, this is the day that I can go all out because it's Friday and nobody's watching. There's no rules on Fridays because there aren't other streams, so you can really go crazy. So we have made our awesome 80s. We're going to go ahead and apply that. And now we've got this fun 80s thing going on. Looks like I want to scale it down just a little bit. So let's go ahead and scale it down and then drag it right back on holding Alt and drop it there, and it will update right there. Now we're going to do one more thing. We're going to go to Effects. We're going to go to, let's do Texture and add some grain. So it's going to add some grain to these. Ooh, that's kind of cool. Let's do some good grain. Take the contrast down and hit OK. So now you can see it's added that fun grain. And let's do one more thing. Let's go to Effect and let's do Pixelate and do a color halftone. Let's do 4 pixels. And this is just stacking some kind of cool different things. I knew that. That's why we always used to, oh boy. So what we can do now, if we want to make another one of these ghosts, right? He shows up and he's like, dude, your costume's so cool. I want to look like you. Hold on. We need to give this 100%. This is essential. Outer glow. Yeah, you guys know what I'm doing. Hot pink. Oh, why is it looking that way? I don't want it that way. All right, something weird's happening, but we're gonna leave it. So now, if I want to, I can save this as a graphic style right over here. Again, graphic styles, just hit that plus. It is going to save all of the things. So it is going to save it so that if this guy decides, you know what, you're cool, I wanna look like you, boom. We can simply click that. Oh, he doesn't have another copy behind him. We can simply click that and boom, it is now applied to that other ghost as well. So what I want you to do is create a pattern, add as many effects to it as you want, and try to make a fun costume heading into the weekend. I also didn't see anyone pick out what this quote is from. Let me know if you know what this quote is from up here for today. And can you rotate a pattern once applied on a specific shape, or do you have to create a second pattern if you want it to be different orientation between the two shapes? I believe you need a second pattern if you want to change the pattern between two shapes. It will update everywhere that it's used when you update it. So make your patterns and then go right here, bit.ly/AI Discord. You can get involved there and post your work. Again, we will be going live immediately after this stream in about 3 minutes. I'll be going live on my personal channel to give you feedback on all the challenges that we haven't talked about yet. You can follow along right here, hawk.co, bs.net/hawk.co. That's where you can follow along. So thanks so much for joining me today. I want to tell you about one more thing that's coming up, and that's right, office hours. Adobe Office Hours is happening at 2:30 today, so just a few hours from now. We are spending the entire time talking about nightmare clients. How do you deal with nightmare clients? How do you move on from nightmare clients? And how do you kind of take the edge off when you're having a little bit of a hard time with one of your clients? So make sure that you tune in. It is not Nightmare Before Christmas. Mean Girls. Yes, that's right. Yes, quote from Mean Girls. Thank you, chat. So tune in for Office Hours, which is happening at 2:30, talking all about nightmare clients. Nick Longo and I will be hanging out, having a good time. It's Friday, y'all. We're getting ready for the weekend. It's Halloween weekend. Come hang out. Come vibe with us. Heckle us in chat and have a little bit of fun. We'll be back next week for another set of daily creative challenges. We are moving on from Halloween. Oh, we will be rounding up our candy on Monday, and I'll be showing you how to make sure that you save some of that candy from the weekend, and then moving into our fall festival. So we'll be having some fun next week, playing with fall, changing leaves, custom brushes. We'll be doing some signage, playing with type. Lots of fun stuff coming next week, so make sure you tune in for that and stay at behance.net/challenge/illustrator. And I will see you all next week on our daily creative challenges and hopefully at 2:30 on Adobe Office Hours. Bye!